to make it work. So I find it amazing, and it's not obvious that other animals are doing this, if they are at all. That you look at what is there, and then you can project different hypothetical ways that it could be, and think up which one or which few solutions might actually be viable. And then, with our own free will, we go and act in the world in a manner that actually changes physical reality into what we need it to be. And then you solve the problem. And that process of the human mind just staggers me.
It's amazing.
It's fucking amazing.
That's the sickest possible thing there is. Like, I don't know how you get any cooler than that, man. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
And it's crazy.
I think psychedelics make you better at it.
And I totally agree.
Yeah.
You look at all in terms of, like, obviously, you know, we know, like, for me and yourself, we met playing music, and music is, like, the overall driving force, I think, behind anything I really do. And the pursuit and, like, the feeling you get from, like, being actively creative is just, like, unlike anything else. And expressing yourself through art is just unlike anything else, because I was talking about this with the guy at work today. It's like, your emotions are very rarely one thing. It's very rare that you are happy, or you are just sad, or just angry, or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's typically a little mix of, like, 50%, or not even, like, you know what I mean? Like, if happiness, if you can be 0 to 100 on happiness, it's like you're like a 3, and then you're like a fucking 7 of sadness, and then you're like a fucking, you know, 4 of anger, or something like that. It's like a mixed emotion, and then that's how you respond. And, like, it's so complicated. It's so hard to talk about. So art just allows us to be like, well, I can't really explain to you all the complex, like, equation of emotions I'm feeling right now. Let me just paint you a picture and you'll get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me play you a tune and you'll figure it out. Like,
yeah, you'll actually feel it.
Sounds can be more helpful a lot of times than just words, or like basic fucking, like, a visual element. To just see a painting and be like, this is a representation of how I feel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that shit is just, like, really, really important, I think. And I kind of forgot what I was trying to talk about there initially. We're musicians in school. The mind.
I think you're equating creativity to, like, being able to observe and imagine what could be instead of what is, and then changing it.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Exactly, man. It's like, well, I think I just nailed I already said it.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of religious teachings equate human beings to at least partaking in something that's godlike, because if you conceptualize God as, you know, the force of creation itself of some kind,
mm-hmm.
And then you can take into account the human being being able to create, and being able to consciously create, and being able to manipulate the physical world. And you can take a tree, cut it down, make wood out of it, and build a shelf and a table, or, you know, whatever. You can, like, literally transform the world you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes us like gods. Because
exactly.
No other animal is doing that, because the world would be different without that animal.
Yeah.
But it's not doing it on purpose. And
no.
This is something that I've been thinking about a bit lately, just a little, changing gears a little bit, but because a common question is, like, you know, does life have purpose, or does life have meaning, or how do I find my purpose, or how do I find that in life?
Uh-huh.
And I think you literally have to, your life doesn't have purpose unless you live on purpose.
Yes.
Like, you get up on purpose in the morning, and you do the things that you have to do on purpose.
Yeah.
You're not just being pushed around by the whims of circumstance. You're engaged with the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking it upon yourself to do what needs to be done in order to further yourself, further your family, further your, you know, and further, hopefully, the world at large, if your aims are in a positive direction. I mean, some people really want to just destroy everything, but...
For sure.
But yeah, I feel like you have to actually... Like, the purpose of life comes from within. It's not something that just you stumble upon by accident. It's like you actually have to fucking go for that run, and you're the one who has to decide to do that.
No one's gonna
do it.
make you go run up there, you know.
And this was kind of ties into another story of a trip. I did like 7 grams for the second time on Canada Day last year.
Oh yeah.
July 1st, if anyone doesn't know, and I just totally didn't. For some reason, it never crossed my mind that there could be this massive party at my house that night.
Right.
But because I was planning to just do this in the dark in my room on my meditation cushion. I had a few joints rolled. I had my incense burning, and I just ate the 7 grams, and then I sat on the cushion the whole trip. And but then this party just showed up in my house, and people were just fucking
everywhere,
music blaring, like people laughing and shouting and going and everything. And I was just like, oh my god. It was so much stimulus, and the whole time I was just horrified that people were gonna like come into the room.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about that thought, because I was like, why am I so horrified? The house is full of my roommates and my friends and people that I love and people that love me.
Yeah.
Why would it be such a problem for them to come in here? And then I realized it was because I seriously wanted to be completely alone. And I was like, why do I want to be alone so bad? And I thought about it because the answer I came up with was that I had... So I think I'm a very introverted person.
Right.
Baseline. I used to just hide in the closet and cry at like family reunions and shit when I was a really little kid. I would just hide, and I didn't want to see anybody. So extroversion has been something I've like learned.
Yeah.
But so I get really fucked if I don't get enough alone time on a regular basis.
For sure.
And I feel like I hadn't did that for myself over the course of a few months. And it was to the point that I was actually having such a nervous breakdown at the idea of anyone coming into my room then, because I just wanted...
Needed it so bad.
Yeah, I needed it so bad. I kind of like... It's like I didn't drink water for like 2 days, and I just was starving.
I can't do anything before I get that water. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's paramount. Yeah. And so then I realized I really needed to tend to that more carefully. Yeah. Not let it get out of hand. Because then I was having such bad suicidal thoughts during the trip. Like, just getting confronted with that. Like, because sometimes I think I was feeling overwhelmed because I wasn't giving myself enough alone time that I wound up getting just so pent up in that regard that I was like, fuck it, just kill myself, don't have to worry about anything, you know, that whole thing. And and that was probably the last time I seriously thought about suicide, although I wrestled with it for a while. But
I mean, I think that what is the craziest experience that you can experience as a living being? Death. You know? So why the fuck, like, is it considered like weird to think about your own mortality in a serious way? I think about what will happen when I die all the time. I think about what would happen if I killed myself or whatever. I question my mortality all the time, man.
It's an important thing to wear on your shoulder, because people live their life as if they're just like, the amount of times I see people just fucking cross the street without looking or something. It's like they have no idea how fragile they are. They have no idea they're gonna die. Who knows when?
Exactly, man.
And so, but anyways.
But at the same time, it's like, you can't, like, fear is such a powerful thing and can control you. What is probably most number of people's biggest fear is dying. And so... But that's not ever gonna, you know what I mean? Hopefully that won't happen until the very end of your life, which will hopefully be in, you know, some odd 80 years or so. So, what's the point in spending your whole life being like, fuck me, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And I'll tell you right now, man, that was a big thing for me. That was a thing that I really worked on over the years with psychedelics, that my mortality, I questioned it. And I feel I'm in a position now where I'm not afraid to die, man. I could die tomorrow. I'm happy with whenever I have to go. I just don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? I'm scared of getting hurt. I'm scared of fucking getting my arms chopped off and my fucking bones just breaking into fucking pieces. You know what I mean? But I'm not afraid to leave this world. You know, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to be confronted with, now it's time for you to die, you know? I honestly look forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the day that I die. Like, I think it'll be pretty interesting.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. That's another fucking thing I have to give full credit to psychedelics for.
Yeah, me too. Totally.
It's like...
I never thought like that before, man.
No, it's just... And there was a couple years, for sure, where all that was on my mind was the fact that I was going to die. And just what that meant.
Yeah.
How do I live? And what do I do knowing that? And I came to the same conclusion where it's like, well, there's no other way to live than how I want, which is like involves being true to myself, which means, you know, taking a real honest look at who you are and what you want and all these things, figuring out what's feasible and living the best life you can.
Yeah. And
then also, working to that position where there's no unconscious fear of dying at any point, because I think you need to spend a few years thinking about that, because it's a huge thing.
You gotta wrestle. It's like, and like I said, I feel confident, but I'm not guaranteed. Oh, I think it might be Joe and Anton.
Oh shit, Joe and Anton. Everyone knows Anton. No one knows Joe.
Come on in, you piece of shit.
They should get us beers and get themselves beer if they want.
What I was just gonna say is, like, for instance, a lot of people surround death with sadness and everything, and I currently have, like, my grandfather. He's going through a rough time, and he honestly probably doesn't have a lot of time left. And instead of, like, I will honestly be happy when he dies, you know? Not because I want him to die. I love him. But he's suffering, and he's not living his best possible life anymore. And so, like, the thing that has to happen now is for him to pass away and for him to, like, complete the cycle, man. And it's like, you're not living your best life. You're suffering, and as you know, I love you. I don't want to see that happen to you. So I will be happy when you're rid of all that and you're facing that next step. And it's like, it's not sad for me, man. It's not sad when I see my relatives get sick and slowly start to decay away, because that's just the natural course of it. And if you're sad and if you hate it and you're mad at it, you're just gonna fucking drive yourself crazy, because you can't stop people from dying, man. We're all gonna die. We're all not meant for this world for eternity. And who the fuck would want it, man? It's just like,
you would get so sick of it.
Yeah.
Joe's laughing at me because I have a mustache now.
Yeah.
So.
You're not even my neighbor.
Yeah, man, my whole family's gonna fucking die. Pretty funny, eh, Joe?
Well, man, I totally agree, and I think you're able to say those things with confidence because you've looked into it seriously. So many people won't. It's like a book on the shelf that they won't touch. The whole idea of death. It's like, I was in a similar position with my grandmother. Basically watched her die for 10 years from dementia.
Right, yeah.
And near the end, she was just like seatbelt buckled to a wheelchair, screaming in a room by herself all day. And all I could think about,
that, man?
It's hell.
Yeah.
It has to be nothing short of hell. And it would just be so much better for the whole thing to end, you know?
You gotta make me a promise right now. If that ever happens to me, you'll figure out how to kill me, dude.
I will.
And I'll do the same to you.
Appreciate it, bro. And because, I was thinking about it with my grandma. When I walked in and saw her like that for the first time, I just was like... It's
jarring, man.
If there was a way I could figure out to kill her and get away with it, I would have.
Seeing that is 10 times more terrifying, infinitely more terrifying than death to me, man. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
It's like... Death almost just seems like the next natural... It's like, you know, you're born, you get educated, you make friends, you learn to be civilized.
Get a job.
You get a job. Maybe you do some psychedelics so you regain your infantile openness again.
Yeah.
Then you move through life. You have a family, you buy a house.
Yeah.
Some
whatever
grandkids,
it is you want to do.
See some places you want to see, learn how to do things you want to do, and then you die.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Then the epilogue.
And people who want, whatever happens next.
Yeah.
And so it's just people who are resistant of that are just, they're trying to press up against an immovable object.
Exactly.
You know,
you can't fight death, man.
You can't. It's one of the primordial facts. It's just,
you can fight it, but you can never beat it.
You can never win. Yeah. And it's just you're only hurting yourself to fight it, because it's so much better to come to terms with it.
Yeah.
And like, so for example, my grandmother died. She finally passed away, and it was a relief. It was like a weight off my shoulders finally, knowing that she wasn't existing in that horrible way.
Yeah.
But, you know, that doesn't mean that when I watched her get put in the ground that I wasn't crying with my family about it.
Of course.
It was like those emotions come through and wash through you, and it's your body and your mind and everything processing the whole experience, because that person's actually is gone now.
Yeah.
But I wasn't upset about, like, I'm not averse to crying or feeling emotions or anything like that. So,
no way.
You know, welcome the experience. It's part of life. Welcome.
I love when something makes me cry, man.
It's
I
amazing.
love feeling that. Just knowing that I'm not so fucking callous